something to pay attention to. I wish I brought that up sooner, but hey, we have it. We have brought it up now. So, with that in mind, let's move on to the very last game, and this one has a lot of voodoo surrounding it. All right, Dan, it's going to be a Monday night game, 8:15, January 12th. The Houston Texans, who are 12-5. They will take on the Pittsburgh Steelers, the 4 seed at 10-7, who just had a miracle win despite not having DK Metcalf due to suspension because he decided to punch a fan in the face because he called him by his full name. Steelers, Aaron Rodgers in the playoffs. He did it. He did it, Dan. Perc Rodgers. He got in there one more time. This might be the last time we ever see him. I'm a big Aaron Rodgers fan, but I really wanted to be objective about this one. I'm not going to lie. I feel a bit more confident about this one than I do about the other ones. And let me kind of explain some of the reasons why. Aaron Rodgers and this Steelers offense has shown some encouraging things at certain points in times this season. But I think that DK Metcalf suspension, despite the fact that they actually played pretty well on offense against the Ravens last week, things have just been like there's been too much messiness in the Steelers offense. It's been too inconsistent. And going up against, even with DK Metcalf back, you have Derek Stingley, Kamari Lassiter, and it's like I just don't know. I don't see the avenue for success outside of complete and utter like dominant run game from this Steelers team to really move the ball on offense. And one other potential variable is the fact that Aaron Rodgers is such a good vet that this is not a lot of new schemes at least that he's seen, and he's gonna have answers for the Steelers in the short passing game. And it's gonna have to be, well, we're still probably gonna be kind of bad on offense in this game. We need to make them bad on offense. The Steelers defense
DK
against
should be back this game though, right?
DK is back, so he's gonna be back for this game, and that's gonna help. But like I'm saying, it's like like DK, Derek Stingley, or Kamari Lassiter. Like, do we even shadow? Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. He's had an impact this year, but he has been no world beater. You know what I mean? I mean, 850 receiving yards on the season. He barely would have broke 1,000 if he played the full season. And Nico Collins is like, he's no Nico Collins. You know what I mean? Nico Collins is the best wide receiver in this game. The Steelers will probably have the best running back in this game, though, in Jalen Warren. Woody Marsh has been an exciting rookie, but Jalen Warren's a dog, okay? And so is Kenneth Gainwell. I fear that man as a Giants fan. I do not like him whatsoever.
That and Boston Scott, but
Yeah, Boston Scott was worse, but Kenneth Gainwell would do the same thing. I don't want to talk about it. So, yeah, the Texans offense versus the Steelers defense. The Steelers defense is really weird. Historically known for being like really good at stopping the run, having a pass rush and a secondary that's just good enough. That's kind of what it is, like to the max. We got like these, veteran defensive backs. Ramsey. What the hell was going on in that Ravens game? But at the same time, they still do stop the run well, and they still do get a pass rush, something this Texans offense has been able to kind of improve against throughout the season. But this is going to be the Steelers' opportunity. It's going to have to be that exact game script. Their defense is able to keep pace and keep this game close until the end, and then you just have back and forth. Rodgers to Stroud drives. Who's able to score against this really tough defense? And you would probably trust Rodgers the most in that type of situation. Although Stroud, people forget in that playoff game against the Chargers, he made a really clutch throw after breaking a sack and extending the play to actually go on to take the lead before the end of half. Stroud is a good quarterback despite his
his little fall off.
His little fall off, right? Which I would attribute mostly to the team. But anyway, we don't have to get into that. My bottom line is, we have these two scenarios. I think it is far more likely that the Texans offense shuts down the Steelers offense than the Steelers offense shuts down the Texans offense. In fact, we saw these teams play a couple years ago, but the Texans really they had a game plan for them from hell, and they destroyed that Steelers team. And I can't remember if they've played again since then, but the Texans are favored by 3 in this one. I think you could argue it should be more. I really am high on this Texans team. I love the Steelers. I want them to win this game. To be honest, even though I am a big fan of the Texans, but I just don't feel that there's much faith to be had in the Steelers offense as a whole. What do you think, Dan? Do you think Aaron Rodgers has a couple tricks up his sleeve against this Texans defense?
This Texans defense is gonna break this man, bro. I'm not even gonna lie to you. Like, I'm expecting this to absolutely be so disrespectfully bad for the Steelers, bro. Like, it's kind of bad because I'm not lying, right? Like, when it comes to the Steelers O-line, I don't know if they've had to deal with an edge rushing duo like Will Anderson and Danielle Hunter, to have to deal with the secondary threats that they do with the seemingly carelessness in how they tackle at 70 miles an hour. And what's it called? How some of these players decide to do WWE neck breakers as like a tackling form.
Yeah.
And with that being the case, like, I feel like it's gonna take one blitz, and I think I'm not lying to you, Scott. This is me calling it right here, right here. There's gonna be a meme made from this game that is gonna be used, like the Aaron Rodgers, like, coming out to the Jets uniform with the American flag. Like, there's gonna be a meme made from this game, and it's gonna be low key messed up because it's gonna be drawn on Rodgers. But like,
Yeah.
I genuinely see the Texans like the NFL does one thing right, and one thing all the time in the playoffs. Somebody gets cooked by a huge margin.
Well, take it easy.
And then that team that cooks, everybody's like, that team may go to the Super Bowl. And what's the team that I see being? The Texans are going to probably do it to the Steelers. And what I mean, and why do I feel that? Because, bro, like, this defense, aggressive, on the ball, they follow the ball everywhere. What's it called? They're in every position, there's a big name. And there's a big name old and big name young. So it's like, regardless, they're going to get shit done. And that's why I say I'm going with the Texans to come out and absolutely BTA the Steelers 28-10.
I just got a great question in the chat from Stitches075, if you remember who that is. Big Steelers fan. He asked, if the Steelers are a first-round drop again, do you think this would pose a risk to Mike Tomlin's career? 1,000,000%. I think
100%.
I think, first of all, if they lost that game to the Ravens, he would have been fired because, DK Metcalf suspended. You guys ruined the end of the season. You gave it to our division rival. But then, if you just get destroyed in the first round, I mean, I think you would probably have to lose pretty bad. But I think if this is an ugly loss, Rodgers doesn't think he's going to return. I think, your team loses they fire the head coach. Your quarterback retires. Reset the whole thing. You know what I mean? That's the perfect time to do it. You gave it one last go. You are playing with house money with this, never ending, winning season thing. But it's like, I would rather be bad than great than, you know what I mean, than constantly like slightly above average. I mean, don't get me wrong. It's definitely more fun making the playoffs and all that kind of stuff. But this team has a problem with shooting for ceiling. I would love more than anything to see them hit it. But anyway, we're getting a little off topic. If you guys want to hear more about that, go check out the video replacing Roethlisberger, the Steelers' pride and purgatory. I'm talking a ton about that. And I almost want to make a follow-up. But Dan, it's time. Actually, no, that's it. That's the last game. Do you have any closing thoughts on this Texans-Steelers game? And how about Aaron Rodgers, just in general?
Yes, I just pray for Rodgers. That's all. I want him to come out healthy. I don't want him to get jacked up and messed up. And I'm hoping that this dude plays a great game. He balls his heart out. He makes crazy plays to be able to close off my childhood chapter. And then we call it a day. You know what I'm saying? But if they come in and Danielle Hunter and Will Anderson absolutely high-low the shit out of him, and then this dude ends up becoming inverted, I'm going to be pretty pressed, bro.
I'm going to be very upset if they hurt Perc Rodgers. I will be very upset. But yeah, All right, guys. Those of you who are in the chat, this is a great time to ask questions, but we got more for you guys. That's right. We have